Have you ever woken up in the silence of the night with a heavy heart, feeling like unseen forces are pressing against you? In Islam, these are often described as evil arrows, the hidden harms of envy, jealousy, curses, and spiritual attacks that can weigh down your life without warning. But there is a shield, a time when the heavens open and prayers never fail. 4 a.m., the hour of Tahajjud. This is the moment when believers rise while the world sleeps, to call upon Allah for protection, strength, and deliverance. Stay until the end, because I'll guide you through the exact way to pray so that no evil arrow remains in your life. Comment, Ameen, if you believe Allah's protection is stronger than any evil attack. The spiritual meaning of 4 a.m. prayer. The prayer at 4 a.m., known as Salat al-Tahajjud, is one of the most powerful acts of worship in Islam. It is not an obligation, but it is highly recommended in both the Quran and Sunnah. Allah says in Quran 17:79, "And rise from your sleep to pray during part of the night an additional prayer for you. It may be that your Lord will raise you to a praised station." This verse shows that those who pray at night are granted a special closeness to Allah and elevated in rank. This hour is not ordinary. It is the time when angels descend, mercy flows, and prayers are answered. In fact, there was a young Muslim student in Nigeria who began waking at 4 a.m. to pray Tahajjud after facing envy and hostility from classmates. Within weeks, she reported feeling a peace that no one could take away, and even her rivals softened toward her. This is not just ritual, it is a shield Allah has placed in your hands. Have you ever felt stronger after praying Tahajjud? Share your story in the comments. The concept of evil arrows in Islam. In Islam, scholars often describe evil arrows as the unseen strikes of envy, hatred, curses, and even sihr, black magic. These are not arrows of steel, but arrows of intention, poisoned thoughts, and harmful energy sent toward others. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned us, saying that envy consumes good deeds just as fire consumes dry wood. That is why jealousy is not only destructive for the one who receives it, but also for the one who carries it. We see its effects even today. Families once united become divided overnight because of jealousy. Friendships collapse when envy takes root. In some cases, people fall sick repeatedly, yet doctors find no clear explanation. These are often described as the wounds of invisible arrows. The Quran itself gives us a timeless example in the story of Prophet Yusuf, Joseph. His own brothers, consumed by jealousy, plotted to harm him, casting him into a well and selling him into slavery. Yet through every arrow aimed at his destiny, Allah's protection surrounded him, and Yusuf was raised to honor and authority in Egypt. Just like Prophet Yusuf was saved, you too can be delivered from unseen arrows. Type, Ya Allah protect us, if you believe Allah is your ultimate defender. Here's a developed draft for Section 4. Step-by-step guide, how to pray at 4 at 2,500 characters. The power of the 4 a.m. prayer lies not only in its timing but in the way it is performed with humility and focus. Here is a step-by-step guide to help you establish the shield of light in your life. Wake up before Fajr, around 4 a.m. This is the last third of the night, the moment when Allah descends to the lowest heaven and asks, "Who is calling upon me so that I may answer him?" Sahih Bukhari. Perform wudu, ablution. Washing away the impurities of the day clears both body and soul, preparing you for the sacred conversation with Allah. Find a quiet place. Turn off distractions. Silence allows your heart to focus fully on your Creator without disturbance. Pray 2 to 8 raka'at of Tahajjud sincerely. Even 2 raka'at are powerful if done with concentration and humility. The Prophet ﷺ said that the most beloved prayer after the obligatory ones is the night prayer. Recite Surah Al-Falaq, Surah An-Nas, and the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. These chapters are known for their protection against envy, magic, and unseen harms. Raise your hands in dua. Call upon Allah with words like, Ya Allah, return every evil arrow sent against me back to the sender and cover me with your light and mercy. Protect my family, my health, and my destiny from harm. Real lives have been transformed through this. A businessman in Dubai, struggling with constant obstacles in his contracts, made Tahajjud his daily habit. Within weeks, barriers that had blocked his deals were lifted, and his affairs began to flow with ease. This is the unseen blessing of the night prayer. The Quran also gives us the story of Prophet Ayub, Job, who prayed to Allah in his greatest hardship, saying, Indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. Quran 38, 41-44. Allah answered him, restored his health, and doubled his blessings. His story reminds us that every hardship can turn into mercy when we turn sincerely to Allah. Consistency is the key. One night can change your destiny. Would you commit to at least one Tahajjud prayer this week? Comment yes if you will. Supplications to return evil arrows. The strength of the 4 I am prayer is not only in the raka'at you perform, but in the supplications, du'as you make with a sincere heart. These words become arrows of light that return every evil strike back to its source. One powerful dua taught by the Prophet ﷺ is, أعوذ بكلمات التامات من شر ما خلق. I seek refuge in the perfect words of Allah from the evil of what He has created. This is a shield against harm from both seen and unseen forces. Another is Ayat al-Kursi, Quran 2:55, which declares Allah's power and authority over all things. Reciting this verse brings protection that no arrow can pierce. Also, make it a habit to recite Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas every night, as the Prophet would use them as a daily fortress against envy, magic, and hatred. Real stories remind us of their power. In Indonesia, a family troubled by constant conflict and strange illnesses began reciting these verses together every night. Slowly, the unrest in their home faded, and peace returned. They testified that the evil arrows were broken by the protection of Allah. The Quran itself gives us examples. When Moses, was threatened by Pharaoh's rage, Allah shielded him and turned every plan of the tyrant into failure. The unseen arrows never reached him because Allah was his protector. Every arrow will break before it reaches you by Allah's permission. Drop a in the comments if you want Allah's shield over your life. The psychology and power of night prayers, praying at 4 a.m., has a deep impact not just spiritually, but scientifically as well. Studies show that early morning meditation and prayer lower stress levels, improve mental clarity, and boost emotional resilience throughout the day. Your body and mind reset when you align with a rhythm of peace before the world awakens. On the spiritual side, the Prophet taught us that in the last third of the night, angels descend, and Allah Himself asks, "Who is calling upon me so that I may answer him? Who is seeking my forgiveness so that I may forgive him?" Sahih Bukhari. Imagine being awake at that sacred moment, presenting your needs before the King of Kings. Even today, believers find healing through this prayer. A doctor in London once shared that after years of battling depression, she committed to nightly tahajjud. Within weeks, her heart grew lighter, her energy returned, and she described tahajjud as her lifeline to peace. 4 a.m. is the time when the world sleeps, but the gates of mercy open wide. What time is your favorite for connecting with Allah? Comment below. No matter how heavy the arrows of envy, hatred, or unseen harm may feel, always remember this truth. Allah's protection is stronger than any attack. When you rise at 4 a.m., you are not standing alone. You are under the shield of the most powerful. So I invite you, set your alarm tonight. Take just a few minutes for tahajjud and watch how Allah begins to transform your situation. One prayer can open doors, heal wounds, and silence enemies in ways you never imagined. Allah promises in the Quran, indeed, the help of Allah is near. Quran 2:214. That help is waiting for those who call on Him in the stillness of the night. Don't just listen, act. Tonight could be your breakthrough. Comment, "Tonight I start," if you're ready to take this step.